One thing I found. The thing I found. Get up, get it.
Happy Monday, Nudelberg Daily Huddle. Jay-Z and Kanye, for those of you who
Good
don't
morning, Shay Money.
I seen a repo, be sold, and be driven. So when I reload, he holds number one position. When you hide, I'm high. When your feet cold, mine's a
Welcome.
plain to see. Niggas can't fuck with me. Cause I'ma be that nigga for life. This is not an image. This is God given. This is hard living. Mixed with
gotta love Kanye and Jay-Z to start the day. A little hip hop for you. Yeah.
It's all never let me down.
Larry Long, check out Steve Nudelberg with the hip hop.
Brett Dunn signing in, man.
Good morning, Brett Dunn. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Laura. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Kasim. Appreciate the note. Scott Garber, Greg Goldstein, Donna Goldfarb. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Jimbo.
Can I let this go for a while, man? This is good stuff.
Probably not, only because Facebook will eventually axe us because we don't own the rights to it.
Okay.
Good morning,
So
Todd.
then there you go. We're done.
Dave Goldberg. Good morning.
Dave Goldberg keeping us all safe. Body armor, shout out. Good morning, Mark Nudelberg. Good morning, Shay Money. Welcome to the last full week of August.
Closing out the 8th month the right way.
Yes, indeed.
And then we're into the best month of the year, September.
Yes, sir. There's a birthday in that month, I think, right?
Football starts. They got a birthday in that month. Definitely. Shout out to all the Virgos.
So I want to just talk real quickly about the song. Great song, Never Let You Down. There's one clip in there there's a couple, but one that's really cool. Determination, dedication, motivation. I'm talking to you of many inspirations when I say I can't let you or self down. Bam. We got a doozy today. What a show. For those that don't know, it is National Kobe Bryant Day. God, does he embodied all of that, and I can't wait to get into some of the cool stuff. How was your weekend, sir?
It was fantastic. Really good basketball on, which, I mean, for those of you who aren't basketball fans, the level of basketball that's being played in an empty arena, I mean, they're essentially in a practice gym, and these guys are going toe for toe, bang, bang, shot after shot. So really good. Good golf on this weekend. Got a ton done, deep clean. It's really, really good weekend. Got good reading, got good research out to people, all good stuff.
First Lady is in Dallas, and has been. So for me, it was a chill weekend. I got some alone time, which is certainly great to do. I invested a lot of time in myself, thinking, reading, doing. Excited to get started this week, close out the month. Prospected like a motherfucker, I'll tell you that. I was all, couple of shout outs. So, it's unimaginable to me how many people watch this that we don't know are watching it. I connected two really cool guys, Brett Dunn, who's a friend of mine for like ever, man. He remembers you, Mark, when you were, just a toddler. Yeah. And Scott Smith from True Network. And the opening of the email that Brett said, hey, man, you guys are really great in the morning. So a big shout out to him. He's a good friend. I'm happy to have you along for the ride. Thank you for the support. Also, birthday shout out to Neil Trank. He's a fan who's always in here every morning, always giving nice comments. So I don't know if you have any shout outs, but we can start with that.
No, I mean, you shouted out some people already, but I appreciate everybody who's been, just sending the notes and connecting. Just really appreciate it.
So as only can happen in Florida, you just can't even make this shit up. A Florida man robbed a convenience store. He took the lottery tickets and went back to the same store to try to cash in a $30 lottery ticket. I mean, Florida.
If you're ever in need of some content to share for people, just Google Florida man or Florida woman and look up all of the things that come up next. It's unbelievable, the stories you can find.
Unbelievable. As we normally do on a Monday morning, we recap what we did last week because there was tons of great learning, tons of great songs. Monday, we dove into Les Brown. If you have not Googled him and jumped into his content, it's great. Lionel Richie was the song Dancing on the Ceiling. Tuesday was all about value. Gareth Emery, Welcome to Your Life. Wednesday was Wisdom Wednesday. We talked about new words, zealot and edification. Seal was the music. Thursday, you took it over. How can we use data in business? Which was great because we talked about Jason, the new president of the Washington football.
Yeah, that's right. Washington football team.
And then Friday was the 13 worst company names. And I will tell you this, that of all the things we've posted in recent time, that one really, really lit up. It was really funny. Got a lot of people talking. Speaking of Takeover Thursday, you want to tell them what we're doing this week?
What are we doing this week?
Aren't you using Tuesday and Thursday now?
I am. So I'll take over Tuesday. So I'll be driving the ship on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The tips and tricks tease days are now mine. So excited to be sharing more of the load every week.
On the entertainment front, first of all, it's great. The stuff you've been putting out is amazing. I'm happy to have you, share some of the load with me. And, I love it because you trigger me and I trigger you. And so I'm excited to see what you're doing there. In the entertainment department, AMC theaters opened up this past weekend. Florida, Georgia, Texas all opened up. They opened up with a new movie. The movie was Russell Crowe, which was Unhinged. Like, seriously, like we need to see some guy get off. Like people aren't on edge. So very appropriate. Here's some numbers, though. It opened up in 1,800 venues and $4 million is what they brought in. So congratulations. That's a piece of normalcy. My question is, how many of you are going to actually go to the movies now that you've gotten used to Netflix and stuff like that? Are you going to the movies?
No chance you're catching. So I still we ventured out. We're going out to dinner. We ate at Abe and Louie's. I still have the thought in the back of my mind of being in a place that's crowded or has a lot of people, that's circulated air. It's just, I don't know, So I mitigate as many risks as I can. That's not one that I'm willing to take. I got plenty of movies that I can watch at home.
Yeah, you know what? To me, I wasn't a movie goer anyway. I used to love it, but they were filthy to begin with. You had to wait online sometimes and all like that. None of it, really fascinated me with the quality of TV now and stuff like that. So I'm all bought in to stay home. Good luck to the movie business. But I think what you're going to start seeing is movies go direct from production to streaming.
Yep. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Maybe, obviously, that's where the music industry went. It's different. There's still live shows, but no chance. Shout out to Scott Garber. We haven't talked to Wade Heiner about any update from Iowa, but would love for Wade to chime in and let us know what's going on and let us know any way that we can help as he's watching this at whatever time during the day.
Yeah, I reached out. I did that trick on LinkedIn where I reached out. I just programmed it in there. There were so many people that were from Iowa that I didn't even know. Carrie Stamp, who listens to this, sometimes he's from Iowa. So, all of those people are dealing with it. And then, you get a 1-2 punch in the Gulf today and tomorrow and Wednesday. 2020 is quite the year. And one of the biggest tragedies of the year was the passing of Kobe Bryant, obviously. So when we talk about production quality stuff, Nike is usually a leader in the space. They do some amazing stuff. And so in honor of what would have been his 42nd birthday yesterday, and as I said at the top, it is a National Kobe Bryant Day. They created a video. The video is basically just called Better, and it embraces the Mamba mentality. Mark, you want to jump in and talk about, what is your definition of the Mamba mentality?
It's constant and continual improvement, which is a word that I've used throughout my coaching career. It's been passed along, but for Kobe to come into, and for those of you who don't know Kobe Bryant's story because you're not like a basketball fan, you just know who he is. Kobe Bryant was one of the first players to come out of high school into the NBA, and up until that point, there really weren't very many people who had done it successfully, and nobody who had come in and had a career the way Kobe had. So there was a lot of hype around him, and he went through a lot of trials and tribulations early to get to a point where he was. But even after 3 championships and then losing Shaq, he constantly embodied what it meant to put in the extra work, to drive hard. And he actually, I know that we're going to talk about this later, but he gave the speech at the ESPYs about 4 a.m. because that's really the difference between high achievers and everybody else, regardless if it's in athletics, business, education, whatever it is. The people that are willing to put in the extra work, which is the Mamba mentality, just keep going, just keep striving to get better no matter what happens.
The story of him, his career, what he did and everything like that is certainly fantastic. But one of the takeaways is he was always looking to be the best version of himself. And that was his sort of, leave behind was like, hey, if you can strive every day and you do a podcast that says, hey, this is my, it doesn't matter, get better. So be a better friend, be a better fighter.
Get better. It doesn't matter. Get better. Thank you for that.
It's unbelievable. So this is unbelievable. The video is great. I will post it in the Facebook group. Better friend, better fighter, better rider, better eater, better leader, better generation, better player, better shooter. Everything is about getting better. That's what life is about.
But guess what? Better doesn't mean successful. Better doesn't mean a win. Defining better as just improving a little bit every single day, because that's another thing that he would constantly talk about is focus on today. If yesterday was shitty and you really had to fight it to continue to find a way to get through it, just focus on today and how can you improve on yesterday. I think far too many times we're too focused on the top of the mountain or the ultimate goal, which is years and years and years down the road, instead of saying, what activity am I doing today to just get a little bit better, which is why I created the show I did, Doesn't Matter, Get Better. What do you do as an entrepreneur, as a coach, as an athlete, as a person? What do you do today? How do you overcome the environment and the things around you in order to get a little bit better?
So he when Nike came out in the press release, they said Kobe built the Mamba mentality on these principles: passion, focus, honesty, fearless, optimism. For him, passion meant devoting yourself to a goal through relentless commitment and dedication. The guy was certainly a role model. And what I want to bring up is that even he had flaws. I mean, if anybody remembers, he got charged in a rape case. So the thought that you're going to be perfect in your life and you're never going to make any mistakes or you're never going to screw up. It's like unbelievable that when you see people of that kind of character, even when they fuck up, they make up for it.
And I want to shout out Jim, because Dustin Johnson, great example this weekend, right? I mean, shoots a 60 on Friday on Friday and doesn't take his foot off the pedal. Just continues to score all weekend, finishes at minus 30 on the tournament. That's a mentality. He could have easily gone in and said, okay, I just can't screw up today. I just got to make sure that I coast to the finish. He didn't. I got to go out. I got to score again. I got to score again. I got to score again. That's why sports are so great, because it gives you that mentality of how to be successful in life in a very short window. In a 4-day window, you can see exactly what that mentality looks like.
So one of the things that the Lakers did was they had everybody in the organization, each player wrote leave a legacy, a nod to Bryant's mentality. And in their own handwriting, they created these images, and they're posted all over the place when they when they practice. Just as the practice ends, they gather in a huddle, put their fists together, and they go 1, 2, 3 Mamba every single time. So why don't you speak about legacy real quick?
Well, if you're betting against the Lakers and you just heard that, you might want to move your money to the other side, because there's no way I'm betting against LeBron and the Lakers breaking every huddle on 1, 2, 3 Mamba.
Well, Anthony Davis speaks specifically about the impact that Kobe had on him. And even though Anthony Davis is arguably fantastic, he didn't have that edge. That edge is what Kobe gave him to say, listen, fuck it, I'm going for it. I'm kill mentality.
And LeBron as well. LeBron, there was no track like Kobe. So LeBron was able to look at Kobe, come out of high school and follow that track. So legacy is really interesting. And the coaching world lost a longtime coach and a really great dude, Aubrey Hill Sr., 2 weeks ago. And I saw this quote get passed around, but it said, legacy are the seeds that you sow that you never get to see grow. And for Kobe, that's how you know he's done it the right way. And everybody that he's come in contact with, he's looked to influence in the right way and to leave a piece of himself. He'll never see what all of those seeds grow into, but the way people talk about him and the things that are happening now are validation and proof that he lived his life the right way in order to leave a true legacy, not just a monument, not just something. Like the founding fathers left a legacy. This country is a legacy. Pursuit of happiness, like pursuit of what you want in your life. That's real. It's not perfect. There's a lot of trials and tribulations, but that's real legacy.
I love it. So what I want to do in the next 8 minutes, if we can, or 7 minutes, I want to talk about his speech that he did at the ESPYs called Because 4 a.m. And then I want to jump into some of his top principles, which, again, anybody that wants this stuff, all you got to do is reach out, me or Shay or Mark will send it to you. So the quote was, we are not on this stage just because of talent or ability. We're up here because of 4 a.m. We're up here because of 2-a-days and 5-a-days. We're up here because we had a dream. We let nothing stand in our way. If anything tried to bring us down, we used it to make us stronger.
It's money. I mean, it's so spot on. And I think today was just to tell everybody my journey. I've never woke up prior to 5 o'clock starting until about 3 weeks ago, where I moved my alarm from 5 to 4:45. Today was my first day at 4:30. My goal is to get to 4. I gotta get to 4 o'clock to where I'm.
You want me to call you? I'll call you if you want.
No, I'm doing it on my own. I'm doing it on my own. But the difference of time and what you can get done in that morning time, we talk about waking up early all the time, is critical. And he's always been willing to put in the extra work. So 4 a.m., there it is.
So let's jump in. There's a zillion lists all over the internet, all over everywhere that you could possibly find his principles. I grabbed a few, so I really want to jump in. My first one is one move at a time. And if you think about chess and you think about lots of games, but for him, his insight and clarity on this was that he has the humility to see what is similar in other people's methodologies and processes. And so what it says is, and then adapt them in his own craft meticulously to create his own pattern. That's what I did, growing up. I mean, people say, wow, you have this great process. Well, every single piece of it came from something I saw or heard or learned, and I fit it into something. And so for me, understanding that, his capability, and the big word there is humility, to understand that get better every day.
So I'm going to this one because I can't skip this one. And what he says is amazing, but make sacrifices. And everybody talks about, you got to give up something. He says he says, I take this as pinpointing on what your actual goal or desire is and do whatever is necessary to put the required work in to reach that goal, whether that's losing some time with family and friends or losing sleep. That's an unpopular opinion, especially in the work world. Work-life balance. Bullshit. There is no work-life balance. Once you decide what you want, and Nick Saban says all the time, it takes what it takes. End of the story. There's no negotiating it. If this is the bar, it takes what it takes to get there. You can't set the bar there if you're not willing to do whatever it takes. And so that doesn't mean you can't stop your workday at 5 o'clock to go have dinner and do all that. But that means you got to get up 3 hours earlier, because the work that you would put in from 5 to 8 p.m., you got to get that time somewhere else, because it still takes what it takes. So make the decision on what you want and figure out a way to put it in your calendar and get it done.
Love it. One of the other, I mean, he has brilliant takeaways. Yeah. One of the other ones for me is trust your skills. You know, if you watched the game yesterday, Luka was like, I mean, this 21-year-old kid is doing amazing things. I think I see this in a lot of the coaching that we do, a lot of the organizations that we get involved in. People just don't trust that they're good enough to do it. You know, look yourself in the mirror and say, this is what I'm good at, and now I'm going to spend my time getting great at it, and just trust in the fact that that's your gift and that's what you do. And so I love that, you know, you can tell when people are pressing, you know, and that's not what people buy. They run away from desperation. They run away from that. And he clearly put in the work to trust his skill.
Just keep going. Just keep going. You know, like that. I think you make the commitment, you start doing it, and you're like, damn, this is hard. I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I don't know where this is going. All of the things that create doubt and give you reasons to stop. Just keep going. Just get up again. Just do it one more time. Just say, you know what? I'm going to do one more rep. I'm going to get up early one more morning. I'm going to make one more call. I'm going to just do one more thing. Just keep going and make the decision that you won't stop. I love it. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, what great learnings, and certainly you and I embody this with each other. But this one is one that probably isn't as popular either. Hence, thrive on being an outsider. You know, when you have great gifts, you inherently are outside of the tribe, and people so instead of trying to be popular in the tribe and come down, let people aspire to be like you. And he was certainly at 18 way ahead of the pack. Most 18-year-olds weren't thinking, doing, acting anything like he was. And so he had to come to grips with he was different, and being different is really, really cool. And I think in a world, I don't think they teach this in college. I don't think they teach this, you know, in any trainings. It's like, be you, man. Get out there and be you, and be comfortable being you.
Speaking of you, and I think this might be a good one to end on since we're coming up on time, but compete with yourself. Acknowledge there's more conviction, more potential for growth, more energy, more power in competing with yourself instead of distracting yourself with other people. Stop looking at whoever else it is that's in the office that you're competing with. Stop looking at somebody else and saying, oh, if they didn't do that, compete with yourself over and over. Acknowledge that there's more to do, more inside of you, and that if you just keep pushing yourself, you'll find that that's enough.
And so I have one final note to close on, because I love having this back and forth, and your passion drives my passion and vice versa. But here was, you know, Sunday, Michelle's out of town. I could basically do anything, be it whatever. And, you know, we've talked about our business, thankfully, is really, really good. I spent the whole day, or a big chunk of the morning, prospecting. And prospecting is the lifeblood. That's the work. That's the 4 a.m. That's the getting up and doing the 2-a-days and the 5-a-days and the, you know, I'll end with this story. Byron Scott, who is a dear friend of mine, who I've had some amazing experiences with. When Kobe joined the league, he got drafted by the Hornets. Jerry West pulled off a trade, sent him to LA. It was Byron's last year, and Byron and him roomed together. And he said, he goes, I'm an old dude, man. I'd get up early to get to the gym because I had to get loose almost 2 hours before practice, so that I could practice. And when I got there, I heard this, and that was Kobe already in the gym. So get in the gym. That's where the work happens, man. So great
Right.
start to the week. We have a solid week left before the end of the month. If you're not hitting goal, look at what your behavior is and get after it. Goodbye to everybody. Thank you, Shay, for running the board. Thank you, Mr. Nudelberg. Get out there and make something happen.
Get on the ball.